Hello everybody, it is PreludeBoy99 and today we're going to be ranking every single RLC that has been released in 2024. I worked really hard on this video. I did a lot of voice work, a lot of research, and a lot of shooting. And it took me a very long time to do. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get this out on time because honestly this was supposed to be for New Year's, so I apologize in advance that it's late. I also want to mention that these are my opinions, and you guys are welcome to disagree or agree if you like. So, without further ado, let's get right into the best RLC of 2024. Starting at the very bottom, the worst RLC on this list is the McLaren F1. There was a lot of potential for this RLC. It had the perfect Spectraflame paint color, cool opening doors, and it's an exotic supercar. All these ingredients should have made it a great casting, but ultimately QC is what killed it. The doors didn't open properly on my copy, making it look crooked, and there were many paint defects as well. I contacted Mattel and they sent me a new one, which was better than the first one I received. However, the doors still didn't open right. The McLaren F1 was priced at $30, and it feels like a hard slap in the face of Hot Wheels collectors and was the beginning of a horrible QC issue that would plague other castings in 2024. The McLaren F1 is an omen of bad QC. It was my first time getting the '69 Chevy C10, and I gotta say, this thing is a piece of shit. The spring-loaded dial that changes the vehicle's height is a feature I wanted to like, but couldn't. On paper, this could have been a standout feature that made this car a classic, but it is implemented poorly. Not to mention, the '69 Chevy C10 has terrible axles, causing it to wobble when rolling. The '69 Chevy C10 does not feel like a Hot Wheels. It feels like a third-party company trying to imitate the RLC formula. Its only feature is the adjustable suspension, which is also its biggest flaw. I can't wrap my head around why they couldn't use a better axle system to help the car roll more smoothly. Overall, it's an awful RLC, and it's not worth $30. The 1970 Ford Mustang is a classic RLC that Mattel has kept alive for years. This time, the 1970 Ford Mustang Boss 302 is in Spectraflame Gold, rocking the classic Boss Mustang decos. This car would be higher if it weren't for the QC issues I encountered. The horse in the front looks terrible and the headlights are not fully painted. Some of you might comment, bro, not all RLC is gonna have a perfect paint job. I would be okay with this paint defects if the casting didn't cost me $33 including shipping. I won't lie, the Boss 302 looks good in gold, but it takes more than color to make a great RLC. This car has nothing special, and there are no opening parts or features to make it stand out from its RLC competitors. I would call this casting a glorified premium. The Cabanga is a modified Volkswagen Beetle with a surfboard on the roof alongside other baggage. It pays homage to the California beach culture in the early 60s. The 2024 RLC exclusive edition of the Cabanga is in Spectraflame dark green and has the roof rack removed with the front windshield open. The Cabanga would have been an excellent casting if we hadn't gotten the RLC selection for the Cabanga from last year. I didn't purchase the Cabanga from the previous year and decided to grab this one to start my 2024 collection. Removing the roof rack and surfboard made the Cabanga look like a regular Volkswagen Beetle. To some, that might be a huge problem, but for me, I liked the variation that made it different from all the other Cabagangas floating around on eBay. This casting comes with a pin and a patch that can be added to your jacket or backpack. The 2024 Cabanga is a decent RLC to start the year of 2024. The Mazda RX-7 is one of the most legendary JDM vehicles of all time. Its rotary Wankel engine makes it unique among other JDM sports cars. Does the Hot Wheels RLC capture that same kind of uniqueness? No, it doesn't. The engine bay is the worst one I have ever seen in an RLC. Because there was little to no detail in the engine bay, nobody wanted this RLC casting, and it has been left in the Mattel's creation website for almost a month. This casting had so much potential, yet they decided to cheap out on the engine bay detail and make the car look like a glorified premium. They could have implemented new features like a movable pop-up headlights or opening doors. Instead, they gave us a half-baked engine bay in a casting listed at $25 at the Mattel's Creations website. We deserve better than this. The Mercedes AMG G63 4x4 is the last batch RLC of 2024, and honestly, that is kinda sad. They batched this casting because they knew not a lot of people would be interested in getting it. Well, turns out that they were right. This G-Wagon has a good interior and exterior detail. The Spectraflame blue and the addition of mirrors makes this casting pop. The wheels, however, are a misstep. It sucks that they couldn't find wheels that have spokes like the card art and opted to use disc rims with painted spokes. Elite 64 has unique wheels for their castings, yet RLC had to reuse the same Real Riders wheels they've been using for years. If they would have used a unique wheel setup like the vehicles in Elite 64, or even used the off-road Baja wheels, this casting would be higher on the list. Last year, Hot Wheels RLC came out with the championship white Honda Integra Type R. This was one of my favorite RLCs because it was nearly a 1/64 replica of the real-life counterpart in Hot Wheels form. Does the yellow variant achieve that? Sort of. The yellow Honda Integra Type R is fantastic. The OEM Phoenix Yellow shines brightly with a black wheel setup. The engine bay is just as detailed as the first Hot Wheels Honda Integra Type R. The interior is also black and yellow, which is where most of my problems with this casting are. I don't understand why they didn't go with the classic Type R red interior like the real-life counterpart. It's not like they couldn't do it because they gave the Honda Integra Type R red interior last year. Perhaps they wanted to change things up with a recolor that wasn't just outside the car. I mean, if they were to change the interior, why not make the valve cover yellow to match the whole car? I get that the engine is supposed to be the B18C, but that doesn't mean the valve cover has to stay red. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. This car had the potential to be one of the greatest RLCs ever made, but it did not reach the expectations many had for it. This brand new casting showcases a stock, unmodified body of a 97 Toyota Supra. The hood is openable, and the Targa top is a removable separate Spectraflame piece, which is honestly really cool. People ate this up when it first released on the Montel's Creations website, and most RLC Supras were flooded on the eBay marketplace for around $90 to $100. Then, when the car shipped and everyone got their hands on it, it was plagued with QC issues. The infamous unglued blister became a staple name for this casting. Even my copy didn't have the Targa top properly installed on the Toyota Supra. What could have been a great casting turned into a punchline joke. Aside from the blister issues, the 97 Supra is inaccurate to its real-life counterpart. The headlamp tampo is extremely off, looking bug-eyed rather than a mean Japanese machine. I suggest waiting for a different color variant. Perhaps a pink one? These two are the convention cars that were showcased at the Hot Wheels National Convention and released on the Montel's Creations website shortly after. I enjoy the pink variants of RLC vehicles. Collecting them has been a tradition of mine every year. Which one do I prefer the most between the two? The Fox Body Mustang wears the pink better than the '69 Camaro. It has beautiful engine bay detail, and the white striping around the side is icing on the pink cake. The white top on the Camaro looks incredible, reminding me of a convertible top rather than a white hardtop. Both castings look great. Both are affordable at $30 on eBay. I have a confession to make. I never bought the 1972 Skyline RLC. I did not buy it because I have the club membership variant from 2022. When this version of the 72 Skyline was released, I did not think I would purchase every single RLC that came out in 2024 for this video. Does that mean this is a bad RLC? This piece is excellent for those who like racing liveries and those who do not have the 72 Skyline. The Spectraflame True Black and Red looks great, and the interior also has old school bucket seats that match the exterior body color. The engine bay also has a matching paint combo that matches the car's overall theme. I suggest this. If you like Formula Drift or old school vintage racing, this casting will tickle your fancy. If you want something new and unique to add to your collection, but you already have the 72 Skyline, you should look elsewhere. The 2021 Pagani Huayra R was a pleasant surprise when I first got it. The rear cover detached to show the powerful 6-liter naturally aspirated V12 engine. The color combo with gray, orange, and white complements each other very well, making this the best exotic supercar on this list. The Spectraflame slate makes the Pagani Huayra R unique yet authentic to the car it was influenced by. I am not a fan of the mirrors, however, as they are made of plastic rather than die-cast metal. The 10-spoke wheels are also a perfect choice for this exotic supercar. The Spectraflame Blue variant, recently released as of recording, is still available. I did not buy it because I already owned the first edition of the vehicle and saw no point in owning the color variant. The 71 Datsun 510 has been a staple in RLC for decades. Everyone and their mother probably has some variant of the Datsun 510. Is this variant any good? Yes, the GRE Datsun 510 has all the features an RLC should have: a detailed interior, opening hood, Spectraflame paint, and a detailed deco around the vehicle. You can tell a lot of love went into this casting with the amount of detail that went into the livery and engine bay detail. The Spectraflame paint is shadow chrome, the same paint the Datsun 240Z BRE used. This casting is a complementary piece to the Datsun 240Z BRE that came out last year. Both are great together or separate, whichever you choose. Where do I begin with this casting? Initially, I was disinterested because I'm not a truck guy. I never was a truck guy until I unboxed a 64 Power Wagon. On the surface, it looks plain, but as you look closely, you will realize this RLC has character. The olive green Spectraflame paint looks good, giving this casting an almost military feel. Under the vehicle, there is silver painting detail on the differential and header exhaust. Because this is a Dodge, I thought it would have a Hemi Hellcat engine inside just like the RLC 69 Dodge Charger. When I opened the hood, I was stunned to see the engine was a 413 wedge engine. The 413 engine featured a wedge cylinder head design. In contrast to the Hemi head, this design used a more conventional shape for the combustion chamber and was known for producing good low to mid-range torque. Only true gearheads will appreciate this vehicle. The 75 Monte Carlo is a fantastic piece, and this recolor variant is also great. The color deco differs from last year's edition, emphasizing smooth wavy lines rather than straight sharp angles. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the third time we have gotten a casting this year with Spectraflame teal, and it looks great. My version has an issue with the hydraulic feature, however, which cannot hold a pose position long enough for me to take a picture. I don't know if this is a common problem for anyone watching, but it did sour my experience a little bit when unboxing. I would rank this higher if I did not get the first variant last year, otherwise it's still a solid casting for 2024. The red Spectraflame paint and gold accents give this 64 Chevy Impala lowrider an Ironman color combo that works exceptionally well. This casting has a reflective mirror to admire the underbody while displaying this piece. The 64 Chevy Impala lowrider has appeared before in RLC, and this appearance is still a sight to behold. The interior of the 64 Impala is white and red with a golden steering wheel and shifter knob. Is this better than the other two color variants that came out before it? The 64 Chevy Impala's first appearance is the best due to the deco design and unique color. So, is this the best casting its third time around? Not really, but if you don't have any of the other color variants, this is an ace piece to get the job done. I knew the 2022 Ford Mustang Shelby GT500 Code Red was going to be a unique casting by the way people were talking about it. The real-life 2022 Shelby GT500 Code Red is a rare muscle car with only 10 produced from the factory. In the RLC world, they made well over 10 units to sell to the world, and it sold out in less than a day. Now that I finally got one, I understand why diecast collectors were excited to buy this piece. The spoiler is my favorite feature this casting offers. I'm glad Mattel nailed this look rather than making it a generic spoiler that other vehicles used. The interior has a black and red combo similar to the RX-7, but it works better here because the red and black deco around the car stands out. The paint is Spectraflame slate, which looks similar to the BRE Datsuns. The one weakness of this casting is the engine bay detail. The real-life counterpart mostly has a black engine and engine bay, but the RLC version is very disappointing. They could have added more silver to make it stand out more. Instead, it looks like a black blob underneath the hood. Nobody really saw this coming until the Mattel's Creations calendar was updated. Hot Wheels X Transformers is something I always wanted growing up. Hasbro and Mattel has been doing their own thing, and they have no reason to collaborate until Transformers had their 40th anniversary. As cool as this thing is, it's not worth $80. With $80, you could have bought a 1/24 scale transforming G1 Optimus Prime. The hype of Transformers and Hot Wheels collaborating sold the Optimus Prime RLC. This is a historical piece of two huge toy makers coming together to make something special. It's not a complex transforming G1 Optimus Prime, but it's in Hot Wheels 1/64 scale and Spectraflame red paint. The fact that the resale value for this is $200 speaks volumes about how badly people want these brands to cross over and collaborate. The casting itself is overpriced, in my honest opinion, but having both brands on the box makes it worth $200 for the collectors on both sides of the fandom. This RLC got people to purchase Overdrive because of FOMO, fear of missing out. It's ridiculous that Mattel has to tie a carrot at the end of the stick every year to keep its consumers happy by releasing a new variant of the Nissan Skyline GTR R34. Ironically, the Nissan Skyline GTR R34's popularity has been its downfall as collectors rush to scalp it. Now there is a member selection Skyline that is made to order, and people went nuts purchasing it. This Skyline has the purple and blue color shift paint that looks good. Note that this paint is not Spectraflame, it's more so paying homage to the Midnight Purple Skyline GTR. The Real Rider's 6-spoke rims look great in bronze. A cool detail I didn't initially notice until I started recording is that this casting has painted disc brakes behind the wheels. It's only visible if you look closely behind the wheels or underneath the vehicle. The engine bay detail is to be desired, as it does not look as good as the OG Spectraflame Blue Skyline. The Nissan Skyline GTR R34 RLC is beautiful. I love this casting, but it's not fair to rank it higher than the brand new castings that released. This casting has been re-released year after year, and I'm honestly getting tired of it. Because it's a Skyline, people are going to get hyped and purchase it anyway, regardless of how it diminishes its return with each new release. I missed out on the other two color variants, but I got this variant thanks to my Overdrive subscription. This casting makes me regret missing out on the black and red variants because of how great this one is. The Spectraflame Steel Blue makes the Porsche stand out, and the brown interior is supposed to imitate a brown leather look that many older Porsches had back in the day. This piece shines the most in the engine bay, boasting a twin turbocharged flat 6 with silver paint detailing. The wheels being black is what kills it for me. I was never a fan of black wheels, as it makes it harder to appreciate the wheels because you can't see the rim all that well. If the Real Rider's 1552 were silver or bronze, this car would be ranked higher on the list. Perhaps the most underrated casting on this list, the 1971 AMC Javelin AMX does not get enough love in this community. It has everything Hot Wheels and muscle car collectors enjoy. Massive blown engines, big wheels, aggressive drag stances, and batch numbering. The Spectraflame color is root beer, which is another term for brown Spectraflame paint. I'm not a massive fan of the green graphics with the root beer Spectraflame paint, but this casting oozes charisma. The engine detail looks fantastic, and the silver painted differential and suspension are also a real treat to look at. So why isn't this talked about? Why is this the least popular RLC that has come out this year? Is it because it is a muscle car and not a classic JDM? Or maybe the AMC Javelin AMX is not as appreciated as a muscle car. Either way, this is an underrated casting that deserves more attention. Another underrated casting that deserves more love, the 68 Custom Plymouth Barracuda is fantastic. The 68 Custom Plymouth Barracuda is not a new casting in the Hot Wheels world. It first appeared at the 2023 Hot Wheels Nationals convention to commemorate Hot Wheels designer Phil Railman. Months later, it was re-released in Spectraflame Teal. The 68 custom Plymouth Barracuda was the first casting to debut in Spectraflame Teal, and it is the best casting to have that color. The best feature is the engine bay. It has the best detailed engine I've ever seen in an RLC. The engine does not look like a flat piece of molded plastic like most of the castings on this list. The engine has depth, giving the illusion it is a physical piece that you can take out. The low-profile nature of this casting also gives it a nice stance that allows the 5-spoke mag wheels to stand out. The headlight and taillight detail is nothing to scoff at, as it puts a lot of other castings to shame. The 92 GMC Typhoon is a force to be reckoned with on the streets and a solid RLC casting that will last decades. The fact that Mattel decided to release this casting in true black Spectraflame paint means they fully understood the assignment. I can't imagine this car in any other color except for black. I'm just going to be honest with you guys, this casting had no right to be this good. I expected the bare minimum, an opening hood with a somewhat detailed engine bay. Instead, I got the 92 GMC Typhoon, which exceeded my expectations. The engine bay is detailed to a T. The front grille and headlights are incredible. They look almost one-to-one with the real-life counterpart. The underbody is the most detailed I've seen on a casting. It looks fantastic, and honestly, it's beautiful. Class and beauty go hand in hand with the 1961 Lincoln Continental. The true black Spectraflame paint paired with a pearl white and black interior make this RLC casting a timeless classic. The miniature diorama display is a nice addition to this casting. Mattel could have given this RLC a normal blister or a standard acrylic display. Instead, they opted to provide us with a cinematic scene that showcases the 61 Lincoln Continental at its strongest. This RLC also features suicide doors, making this car unique in 1961. I want to point out that the upholstery is also detailed, imitating the classic brown leather finish. Small details like this add up significantly, making this casting stand out among the other RLCs. Unfortunately, I had to wait a couple of months to get this, and it was back-ordered, meaning I had to wait even longer. I'm happy to say the wait was truly worth it. I was honestly expecting the Nissan Skyline GTR R34 to be crowned the best RLC of 2024. Then I realized how much it is overused in the RLC market. The King Cab blew me away with its dancing truck bed feature and the Masters of the Universe Easter egg. The front grille and headlights are some of my favorite parts about the King Cab, as they are more boxy and have sharp edges. The purple Spectraflame paint and chrome 5-spoke wheels remind me of when I went to a car meet with my girlfriend and saw this SUV loaded with speakers. Whenever I look at this piece, I am reminded of the beauty of car culture and why it is important to me. The crazy, out-of-this-world ambition that we all wanted to chase when we were younger, but couldn't because we couldn't afford it. That small piece we can have in a Hot Wheels is why people still collect them. This RLC is the one I end up looking at the most while playing with the dancing truck bed. I will admit, I was not expecting this to be the best RLC of 2024, but I think it deserves it just because of how unique it is compared to all the other RLCs. Let me know down in the comments below if you agree. So that has been Hot Wheels RLC 2024 ranked. Let me know what you guys think of the video, if you agree or if you disagree. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.